the Akashic Records. August 31, 2013. Today we would like to focus your attention on the topic of the Akashic Records. There are many questions surrounding the Akashic Records, and it is our intention to share our perspective in hopes that it may help to answer some of these perplexing mysteries in this regard. We will be touching upon not only what the Akashic Records are, as well as how one may access these records consciously. Many more of you at this time are becoming aware of your infinite power to create all that you desire to experience. As you are evolving, you are also regaining the knowledge that has remained hidden in plain view. The Akasha or Akashic Records are essentially the record of all that is, all that ever was, and all there will ever be. This is what many find so perplexing. How can there be a record of what will be if it has not happened yet? How can there still be free will? Ah, what an intriguing question, and this is where our discussion will begin. We will first request that you keep in mind that time, as you know, it is an illusion. It is not actually real, it is only perceived in the reality which you currently exist. However, as we have expressed many times before, from our perspective, time is simply a marker. It can be used much like you use the page numbers in a book. You are free to scroll back and forth in whatever manner you desire. The page numbers simply allow you to find the experience you are choosing to focus your attention on. This, in a sense, is how we prefer to utilize time. With that analogy in mind, it may be easier to contemplate how all of existence is happening simultaneously, rather than in a linear line formed by a past, present, and a future. Therefore, from our perspective, the past, present, and future are simply different perspectives of the same now moment. As now is the only time that actually exists. Although the Akashic Records are a record of all that ever was, is, and will be, it is also continually changing, shifting, and evolving. We realize that this may be difficult to comprehend because of the agreed-upon belief in linear time. We are attempting to simplify what seems to be a very complex topic into something that can still be understood with the agreed-upon temporary limitations which you have taken on. The understanding that the Akashic Records are changing, shifting, and evolving with all of you is key to understanding how history, past events, future events, and life paths can and are continually altered. We are using past and future tense in order to help you to better understand our explanation. When you change an ingrained belief, learn a life lesson, master a challenge, or grow and evolve in consciousness, you are essentially changing all other versions of you as well. The reason being is that this knowledge is then recorded in the Akashic Records for all others to then subconsciously access, so they may also benefit from releasing the limiting belief. This is why each time that you release another limiting belief, or master a lesson that you wanted to focus on, you are in fact changing not just this version of yourself, but allowing all others to also access that knowledge if they so choose. These records are constantly changing and evolving with every choice that each being makes. The reality that would most likely have manifested can and often does change with the shift in beliefs, choices, and decisions that are consistently being made. The future realities that are being created on the mass scale by the human collective as a whole will certainly take a considerably stronger shift in order to change the most probable future from manifesting than it would on the smaller individual scale. This is why we say that the Akashic Records are continually shifting and changing. When we are asked by you to perceive the most probable reality that is most likely to manifest, it is the Akashic Records which we access in order to determine which reality to share with you. There are, however, an infinite number of varying realities that all have the possibility to playing out. This is often why we say that we do not predict the future, rather we can only share with you what we see as being the most likely future to manifest in your reality. From our perspective, the past is just as probable as the future. This may seem perplexing to you due to your perception of time, however the choices that you make today do in fact affect the past, present, and future. It is just that your minds are not currently focused on perceiving any other past than the one you remember experiencing. Upon the transition from the physical to the non-physical world, every soul is offered the opportunity to access the Akashic Records consciously to review the life which they just lived. In some sense it is similar to watching a holographic movie of your entire life. Although this movie recorded every thought, person, belief, experience and decision that was ever made in your life to help you to better learn and grow from what you experienced. Now imagine that these records are not recording just one of your lives but all of them. Now imagine that these records record not only all of your lives but every soul in every one of their lives on every world. This is how immense these records are. It is the totality of all that is. In a sense, the Akashic records can be compared to a giant universal internet library, where all souls can gain access to the universal knowledge of every soul to further learn and grow from. As we stated earlier, these records are continually being updated and evolving with the experiences that continually upload into the records. When one being learns or creates something, the recipe is then available for all others to access and further build upon that knowledge. This is how all that is continues to grow, learn and evolve. The Akashic record essentially allows every being the ability to consistently innovate upon what has already been discovered. Many are now wondering, where are these records stored? They are everywhere and yet they are nowhere. Let us explain. Space is yet another illusion which you have temporarily agreed to perceive. However, like time, space also does not actually exist from our perspective. We say that they are everywhere because these records are encoded in each one of your cells, each strand of DNA of every being, and yet it is not physical. It is not a place, but rather a state of mind, for lack of a better term. All beings have access to these records, there are no exceptions. All that stands between you and gaining access to these records consciously is your beliefs, resonance, and rate of frequency. Every being has in fact accessed these records, although many of you were consciously unaware of how the information had been gained. All knowledge that has ever been discovered in all of existence is readily available to any being within the existence of all that is. Because you are all that is manifesting as you at this moment in order to gain yet another perspective of the infinite multiverse which you are a part. You may gain access to these records consciously by setting your intention to do so and being ready and open to receive it. This can be referred to as channeling the information from the higher realms. Certainly every being within existence has this ability. However, many have allowed this muscle to atrophy and as a result many find it difficult to connect with the higher realms. We will tell you this, channeling in and of itself is not the difficult part, rather trusting what you receive seems to be the difficult part for most humans. You see, many of you channel throughout your day, however it is often discounted as coincidence or insights from your own mind. However, you can be assured that the moments when you suddenly receive guidance, gut instincts, and insights, this is undoubtedly a form of channeling the information that is readily accessible to you at all times. A quiet mind and a focused state of receiving are essential to opening yourself up to channeling information from the higher realms. Through intention and practice, all beings can regain this ability, and we can assure you that there will certainly come a time upon your world when all beings do in fact regain this conscious ability. This evolution has already begun. Those of you drawn to this message are in fact leading the way for all to awaken in consciousness. Those that choose to remain asleep are not any less or any more worthy. It is simply the role and experience they wanted to participate in. You are not changing others through your words, but rather by the example you set for all to follow who seek the same peace, balance and harmony within their own reality that you will undoubtedly regain. Though you may at times feel as though you are all alone on this journey to elevate your consciousness, please know that this feeling is only an illusion, as you are always surrounded by legions of beings from the higher realms who are anxiously awaiting the opportunity to consciously connect with you. Those who feel the loneliest are often the ones leading the way through an unpaved path for all to follow. We encourage you to call upon us and we will gladly connect with you if it is your desire to do so. We always remain just a thought away. We hope that we have in some way served you. In love and light, we are your angelic guides. Channeled by Taryn Creamy. angelicguides.wordpress.com